Hey everybody, welcome to Motor Traveler USA. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use a sewing, survival, and repair kit just in case you're out there and you need to make a quick repair to get your gear serviceable again. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I'm a tough, badass biker guy. I'm not buying some sissy sewing kit, and I'm not about to start sewing. Now, especially for you adventure bikers out there, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and a piece of your gear is torn, broken, and you have to make it serviceable again, you're going to appreciate that you had your sewing kit and you learned how to use it. Alright, so let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, so the sewing kit that I bought is the Best Glide ASC Survival Sewing and Repair Kit. So I looked around on Amazon and basically picked the one that had the best reviews and a good price too. This one was only $15, and I'm going to link it up in the description below. Let's take a look at what it includes. You've got zip ties, got some duct tape, thimble, you got a waterproof patch, lens right here. Could come in handy. Alright, we've got our needles right here. We've got some mil-spec utility cord. We've got a little razor blade here. Some wire. And we've got our sewing supplies. This comes with two different colors cord, some black and yellow. I'm sorry, thread. It's 50-pound Kevlar thread that they've included, and this stuff is tough. Some safety pins, buttons, and a threader. So the only thing that we're going to use is the thread, the needle, and this waterproof patch. And we're going to be doing the repair on my Kriega US 30. So whenever we made the trip to Big Bend, I was packing 2 sleeping bags on top of this thing, and when I went to tie it down, I didn't have my tie down long enough, so I just basically tried to put some elbow grease into it. Pulled on it too hard, and as you can see here, it ripped away. Right here, the thread ripped away. So this is a waterproof bag, and it's got a waterproof lining inside it. So this isn't going to make it, I'm not going to have to worry about water getting into anything that I have inside the bag. However, I do want it to be strong again and stiff so that I can use this loop in case I'm tying anything on top of the bag again. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, first things first. We've got to thread our needle. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this big one because this 50-pound Kevlar thread is really thick. So, just to show you how to use the needle threader. The one I'm actually going to use for sewing is this smaller needle because it penetrates the material much easier. But the thread is so thick that if I use this needle threader, it's not going to come through. So we're not going to need this, but it is very helpful if you've got a lighter thread to get it through the eye of the needle. So, okay, this is how it works. So get your needle. You're going to put it through your threader, and then you're going to run your thread through the eye right here. There we go. Alright, and then, so that you don't break it, just gently pull it through. we can take one end, go ahead and pull it all the way through. All right, I'll take it off the threader. Okay, there we go. Now we've got it threaded. All right, next thing what you're gonna have to do is once you have it threaded, you've got to go ahead and get it even. Make sure both sides are even. And then you're gonna tie your end knot right here. So this is gonna be your first stitch so that it doesn't slip through the material. And go ahead and wrap it around your finger like so. And twist it through. So basically I'm just making a knot. And I'm not very successful right now. Okay, I'm gonna make our knot. And you're gonna cut off the excess. All right, so for this part, go ahead and get your razor out. No problem. All right, now we've got our needle threaded. Okay, so the type of stitch that we're gonna use is a back stitch. It's the strongest stitch. So that's what I'm gonna show you guys today. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and thread the needle that I'm actually gonna use, and then we'll get started with the stitch. Okay, the stitch I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do is a back stitch, and that's because that's the strongest stitch that you can do, and we definitely want this to be durable and last and not worry about it breaking again. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do the back stitch first, just using our patch. And then I'll actually go ahead and make the repair, and I'll show you what the finished repair looks like. But so that you have a clean edge, you're gonna want to take your patch, fold it, and this will be your bottom, so that when you look at it from the top, you'll have a clean edge. All right, so you take your needle and thread and go ahead and start through the bottom. Okay. So there's the knot that we made. Now we're going to go ahead and make our first stitch. We're going to go through a little bit. And then go ahead and pierce where the thread's gonna come back out. All right, go ahead and pull it through. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now for a back stitch, you just go back through your original stitch, like so. All right, and then same deal. We've pierced slightly, and we're gonna go far enough so that we can come back through with our next stitch. So you're gonna go past the stitch that you made. Okay. Go ahead and pull it through. Go ahead and tighten that up, and then just repeat. All right, there you go. As you can see, it's not perfect. I could have probably gone a little bit closer right here doing my back stitch, but anyway, it did the job. So now we're gonna go ahead and tie it off on the back. And so we're just gonna go through the next stitch over. there you go. Now we've got a knot on the back side. We've got our stitch on the top side. Okay, now for the repair itself. And before I move on to the repair, if you've got material that you're sewing through that's so tough that you're having a hard time getting the needle through, and basically it's puncturing your skin to get the needle through, go ahead and take your thimble, and it'll help you drive that needle through. Alright, I went ahead and switched over to black thread so that it would match my bag. And to get my patch ready, I went ahead and folded all of the sides, and I put a stitch through each corner. That way it'll hold down. As I'm sewing, I won't have to worry about the sides coming undone. Alright, to make sure you've got a really good stitch going, one thing to look out for whenever, okay, so when you are, you've got whenever you got the thread running through to finish your stitch, go ahead and maybe with one hand hold that loop as you feed it through. That way it keeps it from getting twisted. What happens is if you don't have something holding that loop while you're feeding it through, it'll twist. So as you pull it, it keeps twisting, and then eventually just knots up and it won't go through. So if you're not paying attention, you'll think that you're done and you've got a good stitch, but in reality, the thread hasn't fed all the way through. Alright, so what I suggest doing is maybe use your pinky to keep the loop, to keep your thread from twisting up. Just keep your pinky in there as you feed it through. When it gets really small, pull it tight real fast, okay? Alright, then you look back and you see that you've got a good stitch. Alright, let's finish this up. Alright everybody, the repair is done, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. This is half of the tie down I used whenever I was tying down the sleeping bags on top of my Kriega, and ripped out part of the stitching. So it's really strong. It may even be stronger than the original stitch. I mean, its bag is definitely serviceable now, ready to go. And a couple more things to mention about this sewing kit. I did notice that it's also in a waterproof bag, so that's a plus, and it was made in the USA, so definitely a big plus. Recommend that you guys get one. I'm going to link it down in the description. Really hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care.